What's up, Doc? Welcome to the Docs Get Money podcast. Are you a badass doctor killing it professionally and has bigger dreams than just clocking in and out of the hospital? Do you want to leave behind a legacy that is as lit as an HBCU homecoming? Want to know how other doctors are getting to the big bag? That's right, making 5, 6, and 7 figures without putting on the white coat? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you're in the right place. I'm your host, Kimberly, but you can call me Kim or KB. I went from being a burnt out and overwhelmed emergency physician to the founder and CEO of 2 six-figure non-clinical companies and beating burnout along the way. I'm also your business coach, here to help you make money moves to change the world. This podcast isn't just about making money, though. It's about leveling up your life, mindset, and bank account so you can build an empire that's as iconic as Beyonce. You ready? Let's get into it. Picture this. You're sprinting out of a building engulfed in flames. The very structure you once revered as a temple of healing now is nothing but a towering inferno of burnout and frustration. Behind you, the endless nights, the thankless shifts, and the corporate medicine structure controlling how you practice are all consumed by the blaze. Up ahead, you see nothing but freedom, clarity, purpose, income, and impact. That's where I come in. And from side hustler to CEO, my signature one-on-one business coaching program, you'll start your own fire by launching your first profitable coaching, consulting, or midterm rental business and make clinical cash in 90 days or less. That's right, 4 or 5 figures in 90 days or less. This is for the doctors who feel like every shift is a dumpster fire, unmanageable, or just out of control. Let me help you rise from the ashes, thriving, and with a business that brings you life instead of sucking it out of you. Ready? Slide into my DMs on Instagram at Dr. Kimberly B with the word out, and let's turn the burnout into the bag. Hey y'all, what's up? How are you guys doing? I hope you're well. I am enjoying the breeze outside today. I figured, hell, I was planning on going live. Might as well just enjoy the outside and enjoy the breeze here. So, yeah, I'm taking this moment to not only, like I said, go live, but just enjoy outside. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm having, like I said, a really quick, time to just really answer some questions that I've been getting in my DMs, in my inbox, and from my stories about questions about Ignite, which is my offer to help doctors to make 4 or 5 figures in 90 days or less in their coaching, consulting, education, business, etc. They've been asking me lots of questions about sales, things like that. And so I figured the best way to answer these questions would to just be hop on live and just answer you guys' questions. But if you guys have any questions about any of those topics, like about practicing medicine while you're still an entrepreneur, about selling, about the Ignite, the offer itself, like I said, please just join me. Just drop it in the chat here. But like I said, I'm planning on answering some of the questions I have been getting in the meantime. So if you have a question specifically for me about literally anything as far as business, medicine, Ignite is concerned, then yeah, just go ahead and drop it in the chat. But let's go ahead and get started. So one question that I've gotten from a doctor is that they are an entrepreneur and they've been posting and showing up, but they're still not getting any clients. What am I doing wrong? How I would say is you're not really doing anything wrong because you're showing up. And I want to say that that's half the battle. We all know that, since social media has come about, it's really hard to get the energy to just show up on social media and just be present and visible. It takes a lot of time. So one, I want to congratulate you if you are posting, if you are showing up and doing what you need to, but things are still not clicking. It's definitely not the fact that you're showing up. I don't want you to stop showing up. That's definitely going to be the major key. So I would say the problem, or maybe the clincher, is going to be how you're showing up online and like what you're saying in order to make for people to decide, hey, I'm going to work with you or I'm not going to work with you. So marketing is not just about creating content and just posting a reel or doing all of those things. You are creating a piece of content with a purpose of getting someone to engage with your offer, with your business, etc. So it is about having a clear call to action alongside of your content in order for people to know that that is how they need to move after they engage with something that you're already doing, if that makes any sense at all. So I'd also say that you can be posting and kind of just going through the motions of things, but the energy and the intention that you put into your content is super important as well too. So if you are posting content, but you are having thoughts in your mind as you're posting it, like, oh, no one's going to read this. No one's going to see this. Oh, this is only going to get like 100 views, like everything else is going to get. You are infusing that low level energy into your business. So saying all that to say, you need to be making sure that you are building the belief in yourself, that you are actually, every time you post content, that you are connecting with the person that is meaning to connect with, and you are calling the right people into you, into your business, into your offer to work with you as well. So just as much as you are posting content, you don't want to be just doing that just because that's something that you need to be doing in order for you to grow your business, but do it with the full intention and with the full heart of, this is reaching someone that I know needs to hear my message, and the right person is going to hear it from me. So that is what I would say to do. Not necessarily what you're doing wrong, but I would make sure that you're doing that differently as far as your marketing is concerned. I will say this, that we definitely talk about that topic as far as the marketing and the messaging, as far as entrepreneurs are concerned in Ignite. We have a whole section where we talk about not only how to create messaging that is transformational, but also how to grab people's attention and to hold people's attention. But also, like I said, the behind the scenes things that no one else is really talking about is like, how do you hold and infuse those intentions into your messaging and your marketing, and hold that belief for yourself that what you're creating is impressive. I think that there's a lot of other opportunities for people to work with other coaches where they will get messaging and they'll get marketing and they'll understand how to run ads and do all of the things, but no one actually talks to you about the thoughts that you need to have in your mind as you are going through these actions, because everything we do in life is 80% what we think about it as well too. So wanted to just infuse that for the very first question. So really good question that I get, like I said, all the time. But I wanted to talk about how it's really different inside of Ignite. We talk about how you need to show up, how the thoughts that you need to hold, not just how to do the thing, but why you need to do the thing as well too. And I think that's different than a lot of opportunities for doctor entrepreneurs to work with business coaches out there. So another question that I'm getting is, what's the fastest way to get someone to pay me for my expertise? I think that's a really great question, is that you have to make an offer for someone to pay you for your expertise. So that really has to be done by when you are packaging up your expertise. When you hear that, meaning you have to put it in some sort of a format for someone to digest, whether that is maybe that is in a class format where someone takes it online, whether that is in a group environment where you're teaching and kind of coaching people along in a group setting, whether that is a one-on-one opportunity or offer for someone to work with you. But in order for someone to pay you for your expertise, the first thing you have to do is make an offer them, and offer as many people the opportunity to pay you for your expertise as possible. So I would just say, always, if you are a doctor that is coaching, consulting, educating, and you have a signature framework or you have a specific process that you like to walk people through, the best way to start off with creating an offer would be to start with something that is very, very high touch and also high ticket. And when I say high touch, meaning they get face-to-face time with you. You interact with them as much as possible. So one-on-one coaching is the best way to actually get that started. And like I said, that commands a higher ticket price because people are working with you, the expert, in close proximity. So that's the best way to do it. And so Excited Ignite, like I said, the doors are open like right now. We work together to create your own signature high touch, high ticket offer. And so we use that do that with my signature process is called, it's called the Fire Offer Combustion Kit. And so with that Fire Offer Combustion Kit, what you do is literally you're mapping out your ideal client's transformation. You're mapping out who you want your ideal client to be. And also you learn how to price that so that it actually is something that was very profitable from the very first time that you sell it. So we're not focusing on creating a digital course. We're not creating memberships, things like that right now either. Those are usually lower ticket items. We practice and we start with charging something that is really high proximity, really high ticket. And so that you are able to, like I said, charge more so your value and your experience and your expertise right off the bat. So want to make sure that you do that. So the fastest way to get someone to pay you for your expertise is to ask them to pay you for your expertise by just making them offer to work with them. So if you need help with that, then like I said, Ignite is the best container to do that. And like I said, the Fire Offer Combustion Kit is how I help my clients to create their signature high touch, high ticket offers as their in their coaching, consulting, and education business as well too. So let's see. Another question I get a lot, and I've personally experienced this as well too, is why isn't my business growing even though I'm doing all of the things? So you are posting like we talked about before, you are working on your website, you are trying to find clients, you're doing all of the things, but still you're either not making money consistently or you're not making money at all, or you're kind of stuck in motion here. So I would say we as physicians have a predilection to do what I call is fancy busy work, which means that we are doing all of the things that are not moving the needle. Like we're tweaking our website, or we are talking to people on Fiverr to make us a PDF and so make a lead magnet, or we are creating free content online and just asking people to sign up for our email list. Anything that just is like super fluffy, things like that. But we're concerned is like, okay, well, why am I not generating any income in my business? So in order for us to do that, we have to be doing the moves that it takes in order for us to make money in our business. Our brains have been so conditioned to do the things that just make us feel good and look good on the outside, right? But not to actually execute on our dreams and on our desires. Our primitive brain is kind of telling us, no, don't do that. That's not achievable. We can't do that. We don't know what that's going to look like on the other side. But our higher selves and our prefrontal cortex is asking us to like go higher and to just kind of get things done. So every day there's a kind of back and forth between our brains here. So back to the fancy busy work, we need to be doing things, don't get me wrong, but it has to be the right things that we need to be focused on. And that is the only 20% of the battle, of course, of what we need to be working on. The vast majority of what we will need in order to survive, in order to grow successful business, is 80% what we are thinking about it, our mindset towards it. And so the rest of the 20%, like I'm saying, is the actions. So we need to make sure that, yes, we are doing things. We're in action because that's how we manifest and that's how we get things into the world, right? But we need to make sure that those actions are aligned with the goals that we're trying to achieve. So one of the things that I do when a doctor comes inside of Ignite is you actually get a one-on-one call with me immediately when you join. And one of the first things that we talk about is what time you currently have with your life, And what are you currently doing with that time? Is that productive towards the goals that you want to achieve? And so once we manage your time and your energy and what you're spending your time doing, then we can start to say, okay, let's start shifting the time that you currently have and start doing different actions in order for us to get a different result. And also, that's part of the reason why I introduce you to, in the same conversation that we're having, the tools and the frameworks that I use in order to build a better mindset, in order for me to move forward, to move quickly, in order to both be a mom, be an entrepreneur, be a doctor, do all those things in the limited time that I have as well too. So if you are doing all of the things like you're saying and things aren't actually growing, it's probably because, again, you need to be focusing on doing the right things in your business, and also what you're thinking about and how you are thinking towards your business is the vast majority of the things. So if you're trying to just action your way into creating a successful business, that's one way that you can manifest that. It's a very stressful, burnout heavy way to do that. But you could also focus on making sure that how you're thinking and how you're approaching your business from a psychological standpoint is actually effective as well too. And like I said, this is what we do inside of Ignite, and that is part of the reason why clients that have worked with me have made 15K in 23 days, have made 20K in less than 24 hours. Like all of these like kind of crazy results is because of this specific approach that I'm talking to you about here. So I hope that makes a lot of sense to you. If you have questions about that, please drop me a line or just drop another question in here too. Another question that I get is, do I need to grow my audience before I start selling high ticket? The short answer is absolutely not. Just because you have a small audience, that does not necessarily cap how much you are going to be able to charge or to make or whatever. No one is looking back at, how much you talk about how much your offer is and then looking at your social media following, your website statistics and all of that and saying, oh, she should or should not be able to charge that because of all of these reasons here. What needs to happen in order for you to charge high ticket is being able to describe someone's problem more articulately, more eloquently, more specifically than they can, and offering and positioning yourself as a solution to that said problem. People will pay to get out of pain and get out of their problems. So once you're able to talk about that in your messaging and while you're marketing and talking about your offer, then that's what qualifies you to charge whatever you want, because that puts you in what one of my coaches says, a category of one. Like there's no one else that they can compare you to that solves their problems so specifically. So that's the only thing that qualifies you to charge quote unquote high ticket, is being able to articulate someone's problem better than they can and offering them a solution to that said problem that they've never, heard described on that level before. As a matter of fact, too, I think here's another issue. People feel like because they are a beginner or they have a small audience, that they should start off with charging high ticket. And that's one thing that I have written down here, is because they think that somehow that social media and their followership is like some sort of a standard by which, or measurements tool, that's what I'm trying to say, a measurement tool by which people can identify your income. And that's absolutely not true either. As a matter of fact, all of the smartest business people will tell you this, and this is absolutely the truth. The smaller you are, the newer you are, the more expensive you have to be in the beginning. As you grow, as people become more familiar with your brand, with your product, who you are, what you do, and you build that trust factor, and you also build that trust and that relatability, that's when you can decide then if you want to change the price of the product or things like that, etc. But in the very beginning of stages of your business, in order for you to be successful, in order for you to be profitable, it has to be a higher ticket price. A common I'd say like way to think about it is like if you guys remember when Tesla came back on the market, don't boo me. I'm just the reporter. I don't make this news. I'm just reporting this, okay? But if you remember when Tesla came on the market, right? Like it was super expensive to buy one. Like it was luxury level vehicles. I think it was still like 90K, 80K to buy a Tesla. Now you can buy a Tesla for 40K. I know things are kind of changing, but at the same time, when it first came on the market, they had to start with a higher ticket product for a multitude of reasons that I won't get into here. But as it went along, then it became less and less expensive as the brand became more trusted and well known in the market, as the technology developed, as their processes, as their systems developed, etc. Then they were able to decrease the cost of things. But that's just the logical smart way to go about your business is to start with a higher ticket item, be trying to conform to affordability or what other people can charge, or what other people are charging, or what other people may or may not be able to afford, is not the way that you want to price what you're selling in your business. And so I'd also, there's so many tangents I can go off on this question, but I'd also mind the thought of what people can afford, because afford is completely relative. People can afford all kinds of different things. It's just a decision that they make whether if they want to pay for something or not. And so it is up to us as the entrepreneurs, as the salespeople, to really, again, make our offers as desirable as possible, to talk about our offers as one of one, you can't get this anywhere else, all of those things to build that desire in people so that it holds its weight in what we're actually charging for it as well too. So that's how I would answer that question. So that's about audience size. Ooh, another question that I've gotten recently is, what if I already tried to sell before and no one has bought from me? So I've been here, totally had the same question or the same experience, well, where I was selling my books, I was doing all kinds of different things, and it was absolutely crickets. No one's bought from me. I just heard absolutely nothing. So I want to say first that this is absolutely normal. This is a completely normal experience. And I think most people, when they have this experience, feel like they're a failure. And it's not, it's absolutely not. It's actually just feedback for you to understand, okay, well, if I'm putting something out there and no one is purchasing it, that's actually opportunity to kind of deconstruct that and troubleshoot and say, well, what is it that is happening here? Is it because, the people don't want my product? Is it because of how I'm talking about it? Is it something about how I'm selling it, or describing it to people, etc.? So that's opportunity. So I hope that you would absorb if that happened to you and take that as a time to just not take it personally, but to deconstruct what's happening here. So I'd say if people are putting things out there and you're not getting anything back, a lot of times it's how it's been messaged, meaning it was how you're talking about it, how you're describing it is why people are not actually consuming it. So people may be confused about what you're actually selling or what you're talking about or what you do, or maybe not even trust your results just yet. Again, that doesn't mean that your offer sucks. It just means that you need to kind of tweak your messaging and tweak your positioning, and keep going, to keep talking about it in order for you to find the message that really, really clicks. I think when this happens, even though it's super normal for things to happen like this, it really challenges our belief as entrepreneurs. Like, we've got the whole doctor thing down, right? But it challenges our belief and as our entrepreneurs is that, well, I am putting things out there and no one's buying, so I'm not good at business, or I'm not good at sales, or it starts to eat away at who we are on the journey, and start to go into this negative feedback loop of self-talk that we're doing ourselves. So I want to say again that it's important to notice and be aware that we do this, But inside of Ignite with my coaching program, is that we talk about how to not only know that that's there, but to build a new belief and build new actions to go alongside of that, and to really learn how to talk to ourselves in a better way as entrepreneurs so that we can get better actions from that. So I'd say this, like I said, if it's not you in and of yourself, if you're putting things out there and no one's buying it, very simply, strategically, it's about either, you know, how you're talking about it. So the messaging, maybe potentially the price, or something else along those lines. It's not necessarily about you. So just want to keep that in mind. I hope that answers that question for you. Let's see. One other question I've got here is, how do I talk about my offer without sounding salesy? So I think that's what turns most people off about sales and all of those other things, because people automatically, their brain goes to like the worst sales experience that they ever had in their life, like when they were buying a car or what have you, instead of one of the more pleasant buying experiences or sales experiences that we have all the time, whether that's like really great customer service that we get, or even if we've been sold Girl Scout cookies before, which they're my favorite salespeople ever. But our brain kind of just goes into the negative and how icky we feel when we have been sold to before, try to force to make a decision and all of those other things as well too. So I would say salesy really happens when you're focused on yourself, though. When you are focused on how you're feeling, how other people are reacting to what you're saying, your thought, like how it just, your experiences that you've had in the past that are negative about sales, when you're holding all of those things inside and still trying to sell something to someone, that's when things start to feel salesy, convincing, gross, icky, all of those things. However, when you start to think about the other person that you are offering to or selling to, that's when things start to feel less salesy and less icky. When you are focused on trying to communicate with them in a way that clicks with them, when you are trying to show them how this is going to benefit them, how a feature or an opportunity that you've added will actually help them to solve their problem even faster, when you're more focused on the other person than how you're feeling, that's how you get out of the sales ick. That's how you get out of the, I'm trying to like force something on someone. It's like super gross. That's what you need to do. So with Sales Call Alchemy, which is my sales process and how I teach doctors and other entrepreneurs how to have sales conversations without that ick, we talk about that. The more you're focused on serving the other person, the more you're focused on connecting with that other person and really like getting to what they specifically need and bridging the gap between what their problem is and the solution that you have to offer, that's how we not only convert people very quickly, but it also helps us to not feel so gross and just like icky and slimy about what we're doing. Because it's all about, again, how we're deciding to think about all of these things. And so the more we get into our doctor bag and our service bag and making sure that we are looking at what we have created as something to serve someone else, then there you go. Like, that's how you get out of the ick. So that's how I teach you how to sell inside of Sales Call Alchemy. And that's all included inside of Ignite, because Ignite is a very comprehensive program. You learn mindset, you learn sales, you learn messaging, you learn mindset though. Like I said, mindset more than anything, mindset, and also how to actually sell, how to improve your sales, etc. It's a comprehensive, accelerated experience, and it's nothing like it for doctors on the market. I'm so excited that the doors are open now and that we're enrolling doctors to come on inside and to grow their businesses inside there. So if you have more questions about it, if you know that you are coaching, consulting, and not seeing the level of income that you want in your business right now, then
you definitely need to drop me a DM. Just call it Say Ignite in the comments, and I'd be glad to talk to you and get you signed up and have you join us behind the scenes inside of Ignite as well too. So let's see. That actually takes me to a couple of different other questions specifically about Ignite, and I'm just looking to see if there's any questions in the chat here. So, hey guys, what I haven't said is I am just answering some common questions and answers that I've been getting in my DMs about Ignite and just about sales, about marketing, about offers, about practicing medicine, doing all of these things at the same time as well too. So if you have a question, just drop it in the comments here and I'd be happy to answer it for you. So, okay. So another question is people are asking me, okay, Kim, I keep seeing you posting about Ignite, but I'm not 100% clear about what it is. What is Ignite and how does it help me specifically? So let me be clear. Ignite is my 6-month accelerator for doctors who are coaches, consultants, experts, service providers, educators, etc. You're otherwise selling your expertise as well as you practicing medicine full time on the side. And you want to make sure that your side hustle, I'll just call it, is generating consistent income so that you can live your life and do what you want. You started this business for a reason. So whether that's you just want to cut back on your clinical time, you want to take an extra vacation, what have you, you don't want to go down to part-time eventually, we help you to make the money to make that happen. So we do that by helping you to walk through my signature process where you will create a high ticket, high touch offer as a coach or consultant, right? You will launch it to your audience. You also price that offer as well too. And you will sell that using a sales call as well too. You will refine and repeat that process throughout the 6-month experience so that you can sign at least 1 to 5 high ticket clients while you are working with us. But you will learn the systems, the tools, all of the things while you're there to make money and to get that off of the ground. So like I said, it's the goal of it is that you will make your first 4 or 5 figures in 90 days or less. A lot of people do that a lot faster than that. I mentioned before, Dr. Nia made 20K in less than 24 hours. Dr. Shayoon made $5,000 in 2 weeks. She also doubled her email list. Dr. Sharis has made $63,000 in 72 days. Dr. Dimitri has made 15K in 23 days. So the results are so much less than 90 days, but we give ourselves 90 days of time just to make sure that we have enough to kind of keep going, because some of the things, like I said, we talked about before, what if nobody buys at first? Like, we need to refine and repeat the process. It is a accelerated experience, but it's fun. It is amazing. And that answers another question that I'm about to get right here is like, what makes it different from other business coaching programs? I think what makes it most different is that it is, like I said, an accelerator. It is meant to be a quick experience, and it's meant to just get into the action and to do the thing. And also not just to make things just quick, but also to install the systems in your business that you need to make it successful. The delivery systems, the how you market, so the marketing systems and the sales systems, in order for these things to continue to run as a smooth engine so you can make money in your business. I think that's what makes us different. And as well as we are laser focused on what you need to know right now to go faster in your business. I think some other programs are comprehensive and very long for kind of an unneeded reason. I think that having a laser focused time period where you are working on your business and you are learning how to just do exactly what it takes to make it work for you in your life is just unparalleled. So I think that's different. And then, of course, too, this is created by me. I'm a practicing doctor, and it's for other doctors who are practicing. So it is very much about what we can do to get to the bag at the quickest period of time. I'm not trying to waste your time. I'm always trying to optimize the time that you have. And so that's what makes Ignite a much different experience than what you'll see out there before. If there's no other questions, I think I've got one more in the list here. But if you do have any questions, just drop it in the chat here. And the last question I have is, how do I know if I'm ready to join Ignite? Great question. You are ready to join Ignite if you are a doctor. So if you are a dentist, physician, optometrist, veterinarian, pharmacist, audiologists, all of the healthcare people, all of the doctors that be under the healthcare umbrella, and you have some sort of a coaching or consulting business on the side. So whether that's something healthcare related, maybe you're a health coach or a fitness coach, or something completely non-medical related, maybe if you're a life coach or if you're a fellow business coach as well too, and you're not seeing any consistent income yet, then you need to definitely go ahead and decide to join us. If you're very new to your business as well, or when I say new, meaning that you have not made your first dollar yet, or you have not made any consistent income where you're making 4 or 5 figures, so a few $1,000s a month, every month in your business, then you should consider to join us. You should also join if you have maybe been making some high ticket income and you're hit a plateau or just things are not working. The processes that happen inside of Ignite usually are the ones that get people, quote, unstuck from their revenue income. So definitely want to make sure that you join us, and you'll know that you're ready for our experience there as well too. So if you're honestly any of those categories, you don't need to have some sort of perfect branding. You don't need to have a website. You don't need to have some level of followership. None of those things are really required at all. They're not important. They have nothing to do with what we teach you inside of Ignite. So if that's how you know if you're ready, if you have those levels of types of businesses and you have not been hitting the revenue incomes or revenue goals that you've personally set for yourself or achieved for yourself, then you need to go ahead and decide to join us inside of Ignite. We, like I said, have doors open for this cohort, and we're looking for 5 doctors who are looking to grow their business inside of Ignite. So go ahead, and if you're interested, just DM me the word Ignite. We'll have a conversation and we'll get on a call to see if it is a good fit. So thank you so much for joining me on this live today. I'm going to post this on my story. If you have any other questions about Ignite, about sales, about marketing, any of those things, about medicine, hit me up in the DMs. But I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Have an amazing day.
Thank you for listening to the Docs Get Money podcast. New episodes drop every Thursday wherever you find your favorite podcast. Share, comment, follow, and subscribe to the Docs Get Money podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want to know more, visit me, Dr. Kimberly Brown, at KimberlyBrownMD.com, and be sure to follow me at Dr. Kimberly B on Instagram. And until next time, let's go get this money, honey.